Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Discovery Pod with Eve. I am Eve Richards. We've got a very exciting show, a little bit different. I've got two co-hosts today. I would love to introduce my first co-host, Roger Neal, who co-produces the show with me, and he's my publicist. Roger has been in the industry as a publicist, as a producer, executive producer for over 40 years. He actually started in the industry when he was 20, delivering mail for MGM Studios, for executives like Aaron Spelling. And it's so wonderful that he's switching roles today and he's co-hosting. And my next co-host is Carla Maria. Carla is a media personality. She's a model. She interviews, you would see her on the red carpets, interviewing celebrities, cultural leaders. She does it all. She brings such an amazing personality, and it's so good to have her here. She drove all the way from Laguna Hills. Carla, welcome to the Discovery Pod with Eve.
Thank you.
So, Carla, before we get started with this conversation, tell the audience anything that you're currently working on, which you would like people to know.
Okay, so yeah, 2026 is starting out as a very blessed and busy year, which is amazing. I honestly never thought I'd go back into acting or anything like that, but through doing interviews at the red carpets, I've connected with a lot of people. So currently working on two main projects right now. One of them is like a vertical series called The Last Clan, and that's actually going to develop. It's also being produced into a full-length feature film. So you will be able to see me there. My first episode will be coming out in a couple of days. We're creating a lot of hype around that. And then also working on a reality series called Odyssey. So we just went into production literally right after the new year began. So it's been, just hitting the ground running. And it's a very exciting start to the new year.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. So what's the name of the vertical that you would love to promote?
So you can find it on thelastclan.com. That's where it's going to be first. And that's also the name of, the feature full-length film. So it is a horror for people that are into, the scary movie types of
Wonderful.
things. Yes.
It's so wonderful to have you. And of course, Roger,
Yes.
I know you're always busy. There's always something going on.
Yes,
So
Roger's
tell us,
everywhere.
what is
Well,
Roger?
I'm busy taking care of Eve Richards. That's my between Eve and David A.R. White. I stay in the Hollywood Museum and the historical Max Factor building. I guess they extremely busy. I have a lot of great clients, but as you know, I don't like being on this side of the camera. But season 1 we had All About Eve, an episode. Season 2 we had All About Eve. So I think this should be our All About Eve for season 3, right?
Awesome, I agree. So let's get started.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
So I'll go, and then
Yes.
Carla, Carla, I promise I won't talk a whole lot. You'll do most.
No.
So Eve, I know that everybody. What's been amazing for me, Carla, is that Eve turns out to be actually a great host, but she's also a super good actress.
Yes.
And she is in a movie that came out. It came out from Sony Pictures called A Line of Fire. It stars her, David A.R. White, Cuba Gooding Jr., Scott Baio, Jason Patrick, Regina Bowden from 30 Rock. And Sony took the movie. They put it out to home video and VOD, SVOD in September. And then December 17th, it premiered on Netflix.
Oh, nice.
It shot to number 4.
Amazing.
The number 4 movie on Netflix in America, stayed in the top 10 and it stayed in the top 4 for over 2 weeks, and then stayed in the top 10 for almost 3 weeks. And during that time, Netflix premiered 2 or 3 other movies after us, and we still stayed right there. So the fans really, they gravitated towards this movie.
Yeah.
And it turns out she was Mr. X. She ended up being the villain in the movie.
That's so amazing.
We kept hearing this Mr. X, and it turns out Mr. X was a Ms. X.
Oh my goodness.
Reveal. So she was the villain in that movie. And now there's another movie coming that she already filmed with David A.R. White. It's going to come out this year at some point. It's called Straight Shot, and that movie stars David and Eve and Dolph Lundgren and Tyrese Gibson and Rachel Leigh Cook and William Forsyth. It's a great. These are action adventure, action thriller movies. They're fantastic. And Eve plays. Who do you play?
Misty. It was such a great movie. And first of all, I have to thank Roger because Roger is like family to me. He is my publicist. He co-produces the show, show with me. But Roger has been indirectly acting as my talent manager as well, which he's not, but he has looked out for me.
Yeah.
And I got to say, in this industry, it's all about relationships. And I have to thank Roger because he went to David and did the introduction and thought it would be great for them to cast a woman for the role as Joan, Mr. X in A Line of Fire with the twist. So it's all because of Roger, his brilliant mind. But I would say it was such an amazing, working on such a great project with such seasoned actors. You know, David A.R. White, Oscar winner Cuba Gooding Jr., Jason Patrick, Katrina Bowden, Scott Baio. And what I really liked about David is he's so humbling. He doesn't have any ego. He was very welcoming. He doesn't make you feel like, oh, because you're not a seasoned, I'll treat you any differently. And I really like that about that culture that he's created.
Yeah.
And of course, as Roger mentioned, I was very fortunate to work on his latest project coming out in 2026 called Straight Shot. He brings back the same crew. I mean, from the directors or the DP, and it just makes you feel like you're part of this family.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's the type of environment that I would want to be associated with.
Well, when we filmed A Line of Fire in Los Angeles and Miami, her scenes were here in Los Angeles, and it was in the Valley. And it was about 150,000 degrees out there. And her scenes were all outside.
Oh, my God.
And she had to look like it was not hot.
Yep.
You know, so it was, it was a
It
lot.
was a very hot day. Roger came to set one of the days, and you know, the director, who is also one of the producers, Matt Shapira, he had a vision for what he wanted for the role. And of course, he's looking at me. He's like, with this hair, this color, and my nails are pink. It's like, I don't know if that's a convincing FBI director. But eventually, he liked it because it was my take on the character. But it was a wonderful role. I mean, how often do you get to play a dual role in a movie and a Sony Pictures movie? So for me, I got to thank Roger, David A.R. White, and the entire cast to be top 10 on Netflix over the holiday season for 2 weeks or almost 3 weeks was fantastic. That's something that I'm always going to have on my resume, having a project that was top 10. So it was fantastic in the U.S.
That is so beautiful. So did you enjoy playing the role of a villain? Is that a role that you stepped into very easily, or was that something that you felt, was a different type of role for you to be playing that required a little more preparation?
That's a good question. So I have a coach. I've been doing acting in terms of working with a coach for a very long time. I look at acting as it's very collaborative. And so I worked with him. He was, I know Peter Alice, who's actually, he did an episode here, but he used to come to my house and would sort of read the scenes together. After practicing for a while, I became very comfortable because at the end of the day, it's an FBI director who doesn't really reveal who that self. It was fun because it had a twist. I had a father who was Cuban, a Cuban ambassador. I mean, I loved it. And what I liked about it is the fact that she was powerful. I love playing powerful women. And I think it was such a great storyline. And to bring her to life was actually amazing.
But once they cast her, they actually rewrote some of the script.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because it was initially, you said, supposed to be a male, right? And then Roger was the one who suggested to...
I did. It was interesting. I went to... And listen, sometimes I have an idea every once in a while. But I was reading the script. Her character was Joan Stryker. And then I kept reading about this Mr. X. And Mr. X turns out to be the villain in the movie who was he was like the big boss over all the FBI and all that. And I thought, I said, David, what if Mr. X, because he hadn't cast Mr. X yet. So what if Mr. X was a woman? What if it turns out to be Eve's character?
Yeah.
Let me think about that. And he called me back a few minutes later and said, hey, I like this idea.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to do. So they rewrote the part
Amazing. Wow.
to make Joan Mr. X.
Yeah.
And even on when you're watching the movie and you hear Mr. X on the phone, it's like it's
The
her voice, but
voice.
it's a voice altering, so it sounds like it's a guy.
Yes. Oh,
right.
wow.
But it ends up being
It was fantastic because, and what I liked was I had ideas in terms of bringing the character to life. And I said to the director, why not have her with a Cuban father who's an ambassador? And he was just so welcoming. He was receptive to my ideas. And it's like, those are the types of people you want to work with.
Absolutely.
People who are very collaborative. And because at the end of the day, it was about bringing the story to life, but also working in that environment, which was a team effort.
And Eve kept getting texts from people traveling all over the world. Somebody flying to Egypt. Hey, I'm watching A Line of Fire on the plane right now. I was getting texts from my friends saying, hey, I'm watching this movie called A Line of Fire. You ever heard of it? And they were joking because they know I'm a producer on the film. So people were really watching this film. And the amount of views on the YouTube channel for the Discovery Pod with Eve exploded.
I bet.
Which is great because I think people are watching the movie and connecting that the Discovery Pod with Eve is the actress Eve Richards who's starring in A Line of Fire.
That is so amazing. And I'd love to know, how long have you two been working together?
It's been,
I don't know, 40 or 50 years.
I'm sorry. It's been almost 4, but it felt very organic because sometimes, as you know, in the industry, it's like, it's all about relationship building. But what I like about my relationship with Roger is I'm close to Roger. I'm close to his wife. It's become like family, right? So it's like Roger calls me if he knows there's something going on within my family as well. And it just makes it easy. And when we talked about starting the podcast, we had a very small vision, but it's gone from something so small to something even bigger where we're like, Roger, let's see if we can take this to the next level, which is about trying to win big awards, which you never know. Anything is possible.
That's true. And, you know, I have Eve and one other client, when they invite you to lunch, it's always a great lunch. Yeah. And when Eve invites you to lunch or dinner, it's fabulous. It is just first class. It is absolutely fabulous. So if you ever give an invitation to go have lunch with Eve or dinner, do not say no. Say yes, because you're gonna enjoy it.
No, Roger has been too kind. But you know, when I think about it, though, in the industry where so many people want to take advantage of you, and to have a relationship with Roger and his family as well, where I felt integrated, to be included in his wife's birthday party, of course, it made me feel special, right? Where it's like, so there's a lot of respect, and it's great to see that. And the fact that we're doing this together, he's busy, but here he is. Yeah. It's a wonderful thing. And I'm very proud of what we've created together. I'm proud of the vision we have in terms of getting more visibility for the show. And it's exciting to see what this could turn into.
Now, how long have you two known each other?
What is it, about, I think a little over a year and a half,
maybe? It's been more than that.
Closer to 2 years maybe, right?
Maybe 3.
Okay, yeah. We met at a premiere. Yes. At a film premiere, actually. Yes.
2024.
Yes.
And we just instantly, Carla has this infectious energy.
But so does Eve. Like, she's so friendly and sweet and humble.
You
like,
too.
you know, just from day one, I was just like, oh my goodness, I love her energy.
Well, when I look at both of your Instagrams, I just say, like, you know, these two ladies have such an amazing, fun life. Like, I know it's work, but she's always at a great event. You're always at a great event, and you know, and I see you on the yacht.
Oh my goodness!
All the time, I'm like, oh, okay,
Carla.
Carla.
Always looking fantastic.
I love the water. That's what I haven't even
No, it's fantastic. And what I like about Carla is where she's so down to earth, and she does great interviews on the red carpet. And I remember the interview we did. It was in Long Beach.
Amare at the
Amare.
Fremont,
And
yeah.
I remember that event. It had so many views and it was incredible. And it's nice to have that. I don't get to
Yeah.
see you as much.
Yeah.
But when I do see you, there's always
It's
this
always a pleasure. Yeah.
pleasure
Agree,
where she's
yeah.
so friendly. And then I last saw you at
I think Promise to Live
Promise
may have
to
been the last
Live.
time. Yeah,
Live.
Promise
yeah,
to Live.
Yes.
Yeah.
so which was fantastic.
That was a great, that
Yeah,
was a
that's
great event.
that's an
And,
amazing.
and
event.
it's always very special when she comes to cover one of my events because I don't get her to cover a lot of my events because she's very busy. She's on all the green red carpets in town, with the studios and the network. So when Carla comes to cover my event, for me, it's a very
wonderful-
big deal because she's so busy.
No, thank you. I always, my media people know I love to cover Roger's red carpets because I'm like, he's always on top of it.
Yeah.
Like everything is just so much more streamlined and easier, and it's such a pleasant experience, Sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I got the email sooner because I'll have booked something up.
Yeah.
But that's one thing all my media people know. I'm like, Roger is always on it. He makes sure that everything, he's very good about bringing people to you, helping you, you know what I mean? Because sometimes is you're on the carpet and you're like fighting to like, okay, I really want to get these people, but obviously everyone's in a rush. And that's one thing, like it's like Rogers are just the most pleasant, I feel like, to like go to, and there's always a great turnout of celebrities and a lot of people. They're very accomplished, have their stars on the Walk of Fame consistently every time.
Well, so the media are my stars. The media are the stars to me, right?
Wow, yeah.
Of course, I need the media there, and I bring the celebrities, but the media is just as important to me as the stars are. So when Carla shows up, any media outlet is there. I want to make sure we get every celebrity to them to be interviewed, because it's important. Because they've spent their time, they've come out, they're standing on that carpet, which is sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cold, weather-wise, And I feel like when the electronic media shows up, I have to get every celebrity to every crew to let them get a few questions because I think it's important. A lot of PR people don't do that.
Yeah,
they want the media, but then when they get there, they don't want to give the access to the celebrities, which I think is that's something I've always disagreed with my colleagues in this business on. If you're going to have the media come, give them the access to the celebrities. I think that's very important.
Yeah, and it makes such a big difference,
Of course,
like
totally.
it's like you get all the interviews that you want. You don't feel stressed out because you're not busy trying to pay attention who's coming up next. You can focus, and then the interviews are just better because you can actually focus on the celebrity, asking them the questions you want to without, okay, let me make sure that I'm not missing, some of my key people.
So now your next movie coming out this year is Straight Shot, right? And tell us about Misty.
Misty was such a fun character to bring to life. Of course, how could I not love a woman who's a CFO and she's always in pink?
Oh, it's so you. I love this.
It was fantastic. But what I like about, besides having such an amazing cast, David A. White, Dolph Lundgren, Tyrese Gibson, Leigh Cook, William Forsyth, Nicky Whelan, and so many others.
That's a great
But
cast.
my character is a strategist. Think about when it's chaotic out there in the whole company. She's the one person who just sits right there and drinking champagne. I mean,
love that.
how could you not love a woman who just stays,
That's so true.
she stays calm under pressure drinking champagne? I mean, she doesn't have any chaos in her body. So, I mean, it was a fun role. And I also liked I took my own wardrobe as well.
Oh,
because
amazing.
It's pink.
Yes.
I have a lot of
I
pink.
know.
Well,
She always has the best colors.
Okay. Let me just say that Eve is like, I have one other client like her. Their clothes are customed. Their clothes are very designer, very high.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think wardrobe could have come up with better clothes than what she
Yes.
brought with her on this movie. And it just gave Misty, I think, a more distinctive
Iconic.
look.
Yes,
Very
yes.
iconic look,
And
for
all
sure.
of and I'm glad because even David A. White, who's one of the producers and the lead actor, said, Eve, what you did with Misty, the costume designer herself said it, that I could not have had this for
That's
you.
beautiful.
But I had a vision when I started studying Misty and I was reading about her as a person. I really wanted to make her iconic and distinct in terms of, because wardrobe also helps. It's part of the process. And I love what she's wearing during the last few scenes, but I can't really say much. But it's a great movie with a great cast, and I'm looking for folks to see this movie, and hopefully Misty sets a trend with her pink. I mean, everywhere throughout the movie where she appears, she's in pink.
That's amazing. Oh wow, throughout the whole movie.
She's not in every scene, but the scenes that she is, and she's in, that's basically how. And the director had a vision of this woman in heavy makeup and eyelashes, like very heavy eye. So it's like I love.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, it's so you.
It was.
But you and Rachel Leigh Cook are the two female leads of the movie.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Right. So I feel like it's a much bigger movie than A Line of Fire. So I'm expecting it to do much bigger things than A Line of Fire. And A Line of Fire has been incredible.
It has been incredible.
So you just never know with films like that. You just never know. Sony saw the movie and said, we have to have it, which was amazing. Just amazing.
Beautiful.
That was fantastic.
And then there's several studios circling Straight Shot. So we'll see where it ends up, but it's going to end up somewhere fantastic.
Oh, that's so lovely. Amazing.
It was. And again, got to thank Roger as well as a producer that he's always looking out for me in terms of that. But I think it was fantastic because it wasn't so much of a stretch. It's a woman who just stays very calm. So you think about things going wrong within a company and she just sits there and just doesn't care about the noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She can keep her cool.
She can keep her cool, drinking champagne and having chocolates, which can be a little bit. It can be a
that
little
sounds
bit
like a beautiful life right there.
It can be a little annoying.
Wait a minute. I think you're describing Carla's everyday life.
I'm like, I wish it was every day. I'm like, maybe a couple days a week.
Yeah.
Okay, her weekend life. I'm sorry.
But the chocolates every day, unfortunately, yes. That part is
She's got such an amazing life, right? When you see her videos on Instagram, she's living it, which is wonderful. So.
And I love her hair looks. I like this.
thank
this is
you.
I've seen you with different color hair,
Yes.
but this is my favorite.
Oh, thank you. I'm back to
really-
natural for a bit because,
it's
like, the roles
fabulous.
I'm
I love
playing,
it. It
they
looks
wanted me
great.
in my natural color.
Beautiful.
So,
No,
But
it's
it looks
beautiful.
It looks
So
pretty.
pretty.
It's long. It's
you.
gorgeous.
And her skin is like porcelain.
Oh,
So
my
it's
goodness.
just, you know what I mean? It's just, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
It's just,
thank
and
you.
the color of the hair just pops.
yeah,
with
it's
your
been
skin.
a while, so
Absolutely.
thank you.
And
And
I
I'm
bet-
getting used to, but I know they both of the productions, they were like, okay, we'd like you to,
Natural.
And I was like, it took a second to get
It's
used to, the shocker, but I'm
It's
like, oh my
beautiful.
gosh, now I'm settled in.
And I gotta say something too that I think, Roger, you know this. There was someone who considered himself a big shot, who considered himself a money guy.
Yeah.
And you know who
Oh.
I'm talking
Oh,
about.
yeah.
We all know. It's an inside joke, but we got it.
Yes,
We know who we're talking about.
we do know.
I just have to talk about it because Carla was so on the money. She was able to intuitively pick up
Yeah.
on that energy. So it's pretty incredible how, things of that. So that was fantastic.
So what's next for you?
Yeah.
Well, gosh, there's quite a few things coming up. I don't know how much I can say, but there's this movie that I have called Sleeping Beauty, and I play the evil
Sleeping Beauty and the Hitman.
and the hitman.
Oh, okay,
And I
interesting.
play an evil queen, so that's a little bit of a stretch.
nice.
I have a short that I was
Well, the
cast-
queen part is not a stretch. The evil part, yes.
evil
Yeah,
part is
I
a
was gonna
stretch.
say she played a villain, and I'm like, it's just so
Yeah.
I love when people like Eve play something like a villain because you know them
Yeah.
as the sweet, amazing
Yeah.
people they
Oh,
are.
thank
You know,
you. But that's the beauty of acting. So
Yes.
I have something else that I've been reading for that I'm going to start shooting. So I'm grateful. I have to say, I'm grateful to God first.
Yes.
I'm grateful to the people that I have around me, like Roger, my family, friends like you, being very supportive. That's what helps, keeps me mentally grounded. Because at the end of the day, it's work, but I still maintain my
Yes.
personal life at home where I'm focused on the things that make me happy. But it's exciting to go into 2026 with such interesting characters to
Yeah, I
And I
imagine.
think what a lot of people don't realize about Eve is she's very humble. But
Yes.
she's extremely accomplished.
Oh yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
fashionista, business,
Marketing.
Motivational
Oh,
speaking,
marketing,
everything.
I
absolutely.
worked
Yeah.
in marketing. I started off in marketing after college, working for companies like American Express, working there. And I've been in marketing for almost 20 years or something. So I have that marketing
Yeah.
background, which helps with social media in terms of knowing how to position myself. But it's fantastic that I have an opportunity to do something like this and at this level, because it's a blessing, and I don't take it for granted because you're never guaranteed.
Yeah.
And as Roger alluded to earlier, with
Yeah, that is the truth.
yeah, and with Roger alluded to with A Line of Fire. When Roger texted me a screenshot that it was number 4,
You didn't
I
know you were
ignored-
keeping
no,
track.
I
She's too
literally
busy
was
with
like,
other projects all at once, I'm
no,
sure.
But because I never in my mind registered that I'll be in a movie that's top 10 in the US. And then I went back. I said, oh, is this for real? And then I went on Netflix. It
You
was
were
my
so cute.
reaction because it was like, you don't think about it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this to be like I did not. It's a wonderful movie, but you just never know,
Yeah,
right?
it's so
never
true
know.
in this industry,
Yeah.
right? It's like,
And it's a humbling feeling, and it's something that I don't take for granted,
Yeah.
because one of the things that David A.R. White had said as well when we did episode 1 was, it's a blessing to have a studio like Sony release, do the
Oh,
distribution,
absolutely.
and Netflix.
Without a
So to
doubt.
be top 10, I don't take this for granted. I'm grateful every single day.
yes.
I mean, on Netflix, which is a huge now studio.
Mhm.
So you've got Sony putting out the movie. You've got Netflix airing the movie.
Yeah.
Those are two like
Two-
powerhouses.
yeah, absolutely.
And to hit number 4, I just think
That's
that is
amazing.
a huge,
That's a huge,
It's a
big,
huge
big
deal.
deal.
Yes.
And my advice to anyone out there is just staying humble, because I go out, people may look at me and think I'm this, but I try to stay humble. My mom always said to me, be humble, because at the end of the day, all of this can be taken away from
Yeah,
you, right?
absolutely.
And I always go in the back of my mind saying, you just never know. So every opportunity I have is a blessing. I feel lucky, I feel blessed, and I feel lucky to have a team like Roger, right? I have a talent manager, but Roger has been more of a talent manager to me than my actual talent manager. And I got to say it out there. It's the truth.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see someone like Roger, who started in the industry when
Yeah.
he was 19, 20.
20.
He keeps telling me
That's so
20. And you know, it's fantastic because you learn from him as well, because he's always busy, but he's always
Yes,
so
he
friendly.
is.
Always so
Well,
friendly.
and what I enjoy about Eve is, creative people. I think we 3 people here are very creative, and creative people are very sensitive people, right? I
Yes.
notice that I'm a creative, you're creative, and so she and I can not agree,
Yes.
but it's okay because we come to
An agreement.
an agreement by the end of the conversation.
Yeah.
And I might not agree with her on something, she might not agree with me. And a lot of clients will get a little offended, but not her. We work it out,
Yeah.
and we both, I think, in the phone call, everybody's happy. She's the boss, so she wins no matter what. Just say it. No, it's okay.
Well, I
No,
was
but I
wondering
really
that,
mean
like
that, though,
how
that
you two
she-
manage between
Yeah.
your two busy schedules,
Yeah.
coordinating everything that you work
Yeah.
on together, et cetera, because
he's so
both of
busy.
you are so busy.
But Eve is so calm. I don't think I've ever seen her flustered or get upset
oh wow,
ever.
amazing.
She just stays extremely calm. How do you do that, by the way?
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah.
Gonna
You
say.
know, I think my mother was always very calm as well, and my dad, on the other hand, was not as calm. But it's exercising and just doing meditation. Seriously, that's what keeps me mentally zen. Because it's like, why get stressed about things I have no control over? And with what Roger just alluded to, yeah, we do disagree, but I always respect Roger. He's been in
the
this
respect.
industry a lot longer, and I'm learning from him. It's just different viewpoints. And sometimes when you do texting can be a little bit misconstrued.
Yes.
So he'll
Oh,
call,
yes.
I call.
yeah.
so he'll call me, or I'll
That's
call
good.
him,
Yeah.
and then it's
No
in the
big
back
deal.
burner. So because
Yeah, that's
we've
the best
worked
way, always.
together, and I know at the end of the day he has good because Roger, I have a lot of respect for him, and the fact that I can be at a family dinner
Thank
with
you.
him and his wife and kid. I felt so honored, and I'm serious about this, and he knows this.
thank
That
you.
and Roger is like Hollywood guy, but Roger tells you he's just a guy from
Yeah.
Ohio.
I am. I'm not. I've always said I work in Hollywood, but I'm not a Hollywood person. I've got that Midwest, those Midwest values I've had. I've been here 45 years in this business this year. It's been a long time.
And see, that's what I love is about Rogers. He's got this grounded energy. He's very humble. And he somehow, I think part of what makes this carpet so great to cover is like, keeps his calm and cool. So you don't freak out because he's calm and cool. When you see the publicist freaking out in the background, you're like, okay, it immediately kind of reflects your energy,
like, There's people that I've been on.
I fall apart when I get home.
He's like,
I've been on red carpets where there was one publicist who was like, get out, the cast. It was like, wow. It just felt so like, oh my goodness. And what I really like about collaborating with someone like David is so accomplished. He's been in the business since he was 1920.
Yeah.
But he's got no ego. Because why have an ego, right? And that's the truth, that people feel like when you start getting all this recognition and you should have an ego. No, at the end of the day, it's like I'm still the same regular person who goes home and I deal with all the problems that everyone deals with.
How long did it take you to get to this point of success in your career? Because a lot of people watching will go, oh, he's been on for a couple of seasons. Now she's got a big movie. Now she's got another big movie. Let's tell them how long it took you to get here.
It's taken a long time because I started in San Francisco. I actually started in New York when I lived in New York City after college. But my parents were like, we don't want you to go through the hard, all those rejections. And I was a lot younger that I don't think I could handle rejection. I started modeling, doing lifestyle at 13. So I've been in this industry for a while, but I gave it up because my parents did not want me to do it, and I was respectful of my parents. And then in New York, I would do auditions. In San Francisco, I started training over 12, 13 years ago. But I was doing a lot of small projects like shorts, nothing big. I'm not going to lie. A Line of Fire was the big one, but I've done quite a few things. Some of them, they're not even credited, like you don't even have an IMDb, but I've done quite a few. So I've gone through the rejections, all of that. Success is not something that happens overnight. And you've got to train. I've trained with different coaches. One of my first acting coaches, Sherry Carlson, was incredible. And then Margie Haber, then Peter Alice, ZA Studio. I'm constantly training. When I have a role, I don't have the bandwidth to do it on a weekly basis like I used to. But when I have a major role, like Sleeping Beauty and The Hitman, I work with my coach, Peter Alice, who's there to train. So success didn't happen overnight. Success, it's people are getting to know a little bit about me now because of A Line of Fire, and of course because of this platform as well, with the Discovery Pod and our third season. But it's been a struggle. There are days when I said to myself, I don't know if I can keep doing this. Let me just end it. But I have family members who keep me motivated, and they're like, believe in yourself. So
Eve makes me feel lazy sometimes because she I think I work a lot, but this girl works a lot.
I know.
Like her
she asks me when I rest. I go, when do you rest? I'm like, when I look at her stuff, I'm like, she's everywhere, and she's always got so many amazing things going on. I'm like, oh my gosh, does this woman ever pump the brakes?
What I'm trying to do now is, again, I'm getting older. There's another year coming by. It's not about age, but it's about visibility.
29 is young. It's
29 is young forever. But it's like I can't be in every place at the same time because as you start getting a little more recognition, I can't do every event. I have to be selective. Also because you think about the brand and you think about overexposing yourself because I'm not a media personality, right? So it's like I try to attend Promise to Live, which I'm so excited. We're going to be talking to Brandy, which to me, so I really like those types of causes because they're so meaningful. And it's something that I talk about, not because there's something wrong with me, but I've had situations where living alone, I got very lonely. And when I lost my dad, I shared it with everybody. I went through a very difficult time.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because those were all in the business. And, I was married to my career for a very long time. And I think you sort of get married to your career.
Yeah, that does.
And I made a conscious decision right, to want to have a family, right?
Yeah.
3 kids, all grown and married now.
Wonderful.
And I started a little later in life because I was so focused
Yeah.
on my career.
Career.
And it's just, but there were times when I was, starting out single. It was lonely. It did get
Yes.
lonely, right? Even though you could be in a room full of people and feel lonely,
Oh yeah.
right? And I don't think people realize that are looking in, that are not
Yeah.
in our business,
Oh yeah.
right? They think,
they
oh,
see
it's
you
all
around people all the
glamour
time,
and the
yeah.
media and stars, and they go, oh, what a great lifestyle, what a great. But it's a lot. They don't see the work that goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
They just see the payoff.
Oh yes, they don't
Right?
realize
Yeah.
just how much is
Oh, yeah,
going on
totally.
back there, and how exhausting it is.
It
Like
is
you're having a good
exhausting.
time,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a
Or being on a
lot.
set, it's such an amazing feeling, and then the project ends, and then you're like, okay, what's next?
Mm-hmm.
So you start doubting yourself. When am I going to get back on set? So there's that feeling of like, what? It's a scary feeling,
Yeah.
but this is all part of the process, and it's things that we have to go through as well.
So I think both of you, I was just looking at both of you, and I think your trademark, both of you, is your hair. I really think your hair is like a trademark for you guys. I really do. Everyone remembers Eve because of that. She's got
Yes.
that platinum blonde hair.
Yeah.
See, who first made platinum blonde? There was an actress back in the 40s, a movie star, Jean Harlow.
Jean Harlow.
Oh
She
yeah.
Max Factor made her platinum blonde, and that just sort of caught on. And then we
Yeah.
had Marilyn Monroe,
Mhm.
and now we have Eve Richards.
I love it. I love it.
Roger is always too kind. Again, it's all about brand identity.
Yes.
How do I want to be recognized? And it's a color that I like.
Yes.
And it's a competitive industry. You got to do
Yes.
what makes you feel good and what keeps you, I don't know, people get to recognize
Well, and
you,
you're
right?
authentic. It's like authentically you, and that's what I love about Eve is she's always authentic in everything that she does.
Like you
You
do.
know, No, but like it's so true. Like, you're involved in so many areas of entertainment, and then you still do your motivational speaking, your modeling, your brand work, everything, but it's like it's genuinely you. Like you can tell that her energy, that this is who she is. Like she's not pretending to be this amazing
Thank
good woman.
you.
She is that good, hardworking woman, who's humble and sweet and everything in between. And I've always loved that about you.
Thank you so much.
It's true.
Thank
It's
you.
very,
I appreciate it.
It's very true.
And like you too, and that's what I gravitated towards you when we first met. Is you're so humbling and just so welcoming. You draw people in as well, and that personality is what I really like about you. And as Roger said, I try to maintain that core group of people that
Yeah.
I may not see you all the time, but
Exactly.
when I see her on the red carpet, it's like
It's
wow.
always you're happy. Yeah.
And you're on an AMC series too, right?
I
You
do
are
have
recurring
a
on AMC.
series called Surviving the Cartel. I was
Oh, yes,
supposed
you
to
were telling me.
premiere in December, but it premieres season 2 sometime in February. And I play
Exciting.
Victoria Curry, a recurring character as well. She's not
that.
crazy. She's a good sister who's there for her sister, Heavenly. But it's been a great project as well to be a part of.
That's great. Where do you film that?
In Texas.
Wow. Wow.
So you fly back and forth then to go on set.
Yes,
Amazing.
it was, and then they had the first season premiere was in Mexico because it's Surviving the Cartel and it's based on this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mexican cartels.
So Eve, tell everybody, when we started developing this show, right? Because I think it's an interesting story. You didn't want to just do a podcast like everybody else. You wanted your podcast to be different, which I think feel like it has been. Tell everybody the sort of the thought behind what they've been seeing for 3 seasons now, how that came into your head to want to do something different than what the norm is.
Well, first I have to thank my friend Melissa Smith
Oh,
because
she's the best.
Melissa is the one who introduced me to Roger.
Oh,
So
love
initially
that.
I had different ideas. I wanted to co-host with Melissa, who's a good friend of mine. But then I realized that we both have this personalities. It's a good and it's a bad thing. We've got very strong personalities.
Yes.
But I realized earlier on that I wanted to be my show
Yes.
and have co-hosts. And which Melissa was very gracious about, and I gotta thank her. And I said, I need a to have a PR manager. She introduced me to Roger.
Mm-hmm.
When I met Roger, my initial thought at the time was, I had just lost my father. I hadn't seen my dad. It was so painful because, like most men, most women, my dad had someone he was married to who abandoned my father when he was in the hospital. And my heart was bleeding so much for my father that even today, when I talk about it, it brings a lot of pain. I really wanted to sort of use my voice to share uplifting stories about resilience, because I had gone through a very difficult time. And I approached Roger and I said, Roger, you know, this is the idea. This is what I'm thinking. You know, having different actors, business owners, CEOs, like my friend, Bran Ferrin, who was president at Walt Disney, one of the divisions, was one of the first guests we interviewed. But it was about hearing from these leaders, actors, entrepreneurs, to come and talk about your stories, because people sometimes look and think, oh, they became successful without knowing the path that took them. And so this was the premise of, let's take this and see if we can build a platform to encourage, motivate others, anyone who has a dream, because it's like, how do you do it? But when you hear someone's story or how I got started, that might motivate someone else who's in Pakistan or in India, because that's how I was always having dreams, aspirations. But when you hear a story from someone like Sean Kanan, who's a very successful actor, came on the show and he opened up about his struggles with alcohol. That to me would inspire someone else in the world who's going through difficulty. And that basically was the premise of the show.
And we've had people from fashion, captains of industry. I mean, people from all walks of life have been on the show, and from all over the world.
Yes.
We've had people zooming in from all different parts of the world.
That's beautiful.
It's been really great. Okay, so we're down to the last 3 minutes.
Okay.
This went quick. So I'm going to ask you the question that you ask everybody at the end of the show when you're interviewing them. If you could have dinner with 3 people, dead or alive, who would it be?
It would be Carla, Roger, and Asha, the 3 people. It just makes it easy, seriously, without me thinking, because from you, Roger, there's a lot of legacy knowledge that I get from you. From Carla, there's just so much wisdom. All of that. It's just inspirational to be around all of you. So.
Well, this has been a joy.
Yeah.
Getting to all about Eve for season 3 and having Carla as your co-host, and I just got to sit in and have a little fun with you guys. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Roger.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been such an inspiring conversation with Carla and Roger. Of course, we were supposed to have a guest, and that didn't pan out, but we took this and turned it into a great episode. So thank you for watching. Remember to watch us every Thursday at 12 p.m. Pacific time on YouTube or any of the podcast platforms. Again, stop by next week. You never know who's going to stop by. Carla, what an honor having you co-host. And of course, Roger, who does everything.
It's all about Eve.
Yes. And her birthday's coming up.
Thank you, everybody. See you soon. Bye.